when you go to the grocery store or online, there's a lot of options when it comes to candies and chocolate. Well, there's some that are really famous right now. There is Mr. Beast's Feastables with the new flavor. We've got your tried and true, your Walmart Great Value brand. The classic, which is Hershey's, which gets compared to a lot of the others. And then there's the anti-woke Daily Wire Jeremy's She/Her chocolate, a play off of the Hershey's. So Mr. Beast and Daily Wire, they both claim that they have the best chocolate, whether it is anti-woke, whether it is a brand new recipe, and they both compare themselves to the strong, standing Hershey's. When we're comparing these chocolates, there's going to be the taste, there's going to be the texture, the presentation, and of course the price. So I'm going to go with the most affordable first. We've got here Walmart's brand, which for this entire thing is $1.12 or 31 pennies per ounce. If we go up to the next one, we're going to have Hershey's. We can get all of this for $2.16 or 49 pennies per ounce. After that, we go up to Mr. Beast. This is going to be $2.57 or $1.22 per ounce. And then Daily Wire, by far the most expensive. This is $5, but the only way to buy it is in a 4-pack minimum. So you got to have their other flavors, which is the She/Her, and then there is the He/Him, which with nuts. Kind of funny. And for this one, it is a total of $3.33 per ounce. So for every 1 ounce of this chocolate, you could have almost 3 Walmart bars or about a Mr. Beast bar. We're kind of looking at the packaging. We're looking at the shiny, shimmery Wonka design. Mr. Beast pops a lot in stores. And then, of course, love him or hate him, Hershey's is probably the most classic, long-standing, most recognizable chocolate in the world. The anti-woke chocolate, Daily Wire, Ben Shapiro, Jeremy's, She/Her chocolate, nutless. So if we open it first, we're going to see bigger blocks, pretty standard looking piece of chocolate, as you might imagine. First off, that actually has a nice crunch. I don't want to say crunchy like popcorn, but you can bite through it really well. It's not the thickest piece of chocolate in the world, as we will probably see as compared to others, but it's got like a good bite to it, if that makes sense. It's not overly chocolatey and it doesn't taste overly sweet. I would say that this is a more subtle chocolate taste. It's not bad for chocolate, to be honest. Again, this was $5. So I'm not going to really add that to my, judgment when it comes to flavor, but I'm comparing this somewhat internally to a $5 thing of chocolate. I feel like that puts you in like the Ghirardelli Godiva category. And can it hold up? Pros, this is not super sugary. To me, this does not taste like they just dumped a bunch of sugar and chocolate and chemicals and just said go. This actually tastes like a more natural chocolate. This doesn't taste as factory inspired, which I actually really like. So to me, that's kind of a positive. It's thin, which that's up to personal preference. As I said, that kind of adds to the quick bite crunch, but it is a thin piece of chocolate. So when you're looking at the thing, it's pretty thin if you're wanting a whole bunch of hefty chocolate. Let's move on to Walmart. So Walmart's is the cheapest. By far the cheapest. I can already tell. I kind of crunched this one too. Well, we won't have that piece. So Walmart's has got this little design on it. Thicker. Definitely thicker so far than the Daily Wire chocolate. We're going to look first. There's the thickness level. But this one has, and it's not necessarily a pro or a negative, it's really going to come down to people's preferences. While the Jeremy's She/Her chocolate had more of that crunch, that snap of chocolate, kind of like if you were to get one of those like vanilla chocolate ice creams and you get that really thin outer layer that people actually really like, and you bite into it, you get the vanilla and the thin chocolate. This one's the opposite. So this one has a more of a creamy chocolate, more of a soft bite into it. It's got more of a sugary flavor. This one tastes a little bit more, I don't want to say chemically, but it tastes a little more factory to me. Which, it's the cheapest chocolate. It's the Walmart value brand. What you're getting, though, is a hefty bar of chocolate for it. If you prefer softer chocolate or thinner, crunchy chocolate, I personally like the crunchier chocolate because sometimes I feel like the soft kind of tastes like the fake candy, or it kind of tastes just, I don't want to say not as good, but not as good because sometimes it's just too much packed flavor, too much sugar, too much chocolate in one single bite, which I know if you're a chocoholic that might not be possible for you, but that's just my personal opinion. It doesn't mean this is a bad chocolate though. Next, we're going to go to Hershey's. Now, as I said, everyone compares themselves to Hershey's. Hershey's always gets their name said again and again and again and again and again, right? So I'm taking that as a positive for them. Hershey's also has a fantastic theme park in Pennsylvania. So whether or not you like their chocolate, their park is pretty cool. Now we're going to take the Hershey's chocolate, and then when we compare them to the Jeremy's Daily Wire. Jeremy's, I felt like it was really thin, but now when I'm holding them next to him, I guess it's not that much more thin. By far the softest of all of them so far. So, you've probably had a Hershey's bar. It's almost a guarantee that if you clicked on this video, you've had Hershey's. That is the advantage that Hershey's has here, because I don't think it's really a question that they're by far the most famous of all the four that we're trying here. But they are the softest one by far. So, where Jeremy's really has like a snap to it, and the Walmart version has a little bit, it's soft. This one, I feel like if you wanted to try hard enough, you could just crunch it with your finger and almost push through. Like I'm kind of doing that right now, but I don't want the chocolate to explode everywhere. But easily, you can just, it's almost quiet while eating it. Which is good if you want to have chocolate at 2 in the morning and you don't want your parents or someone else to know. Obviously, this is such a small thing, but the Hershey's name, it's really iconic to have it on the chocolate. The Jeremy's didn't have any design on it. It's pretty simple and plain there. And then the Walmart one had like these little lines. So they're trying something, right? But I feel like when you make s'mores, like this is just known. Whether it's Hershey's has been ingraining it into our brain, or whether it's just good marketing, or whether it really is just family memories of making s'mores and having this chocolate. Let's see. For the flavor of Hershey's, I would say that this Hershey's, taste-wise, is very, very close to Walmart's. So it's definitely got a stronger chocolate taste. It's got a lot more sugar behind it. And again, saying it's made in a factory is not correct because they're all made in a factory, but it's got almost that more slightly chemical, slightly less natural taste. To be honest, I'm going to say I'm pretty surprised so far with the Jeremy's. I'm guessing behind that $5 kind of heftier fee, they were going to put some nicer chocolate or maybe a little bit more effort into the way that it was made. Maybe it's just the thinness that's kind of helping sell that. Hershey's and Walmart are very close. I know that a lot of like Target value brands, Sam's Club, and Walmart value brands usually end up buying from manufacturers, so I kind of wouldn't be surprised if Walmart was actually just made by Hershey's and it's just a slightly different package, slightly different design. That wouldn't surprise me. They taste very, very close. The Hershey's is slightly softer. It definitely is the softest, just easiest to bite into, where again, like I said, the Jeremy's version, the Daily Wire version, has the most snap. Probably the most famous YouTuber on Earth right now. I know there's been a bunch of others, the T-Series and PewDiePie, but right now, for definitely going up the ranks, Mr. Beast is incredibly famous. So we're going to try his chocolate. I had tried Mr. Beast's chocolate before, but this is the new and improved flavor that, according to a lot of his videos, is so much better, took a ton of effort, there was a lot to it, so we shall see. Another, basic block design. I guess Hershey's would win so far on that. Well, I'll give this to Mr. Beast. That flavor stands out the most out of all four of them. The Hershey's and the Walmart, very, very close. As I said, I think they might literally be manufactured in the same factory. The Jeremy's has that snap, but it's still got a chocolatey taste. This one is chocolatey, obviously, but it's hard to explain, but it is smooth. This is 100% a different flavor than I had last time. Now, oh, never mind. He does have branding. So, if you like Mr. Beast, maybe this would be your favorite. If you like Hershey's, maybe theirs would be your favorite. Those are two definitely the most done. But now that I just discovered this in here, I gotta be fair to the Daily Wire crew. Theirs doesn't have any design. But, had to check, had to make sure. This absolutely has, I would say, the most unique flavor of the three. Crunch and texture. Daily Wire's She, Her was so funny. At the beginning of this, I was talking about their the expensiveness of the bar, and then how thin it was. And then it turns out my favorite part about it is that it's thin. Because it does really taste like that chocolate. I go to Walt Disney World a lot. Those Mickey ice cream bars, where it's got like Mickey's head made out of chocolate, it tastes very close to that, which is funny. So comparing Daily Wire to Disney, they might hate that. But that's what it tastes like to me. It tastes like that or a Dove bar. That really thin, just good chocolate. So first, we're going to go about the texture. I'm actually going to put number 1 as the anti-woke She/Her chocolate by Daily Wire. That thinness I thought was going to be a negative, but I actually, when I tasted them all, it was kind of my favorite. That little snap of the crunch, it really worked out for that product. The next one is going to be Walmart's Great Value brand. That one was just soft enough and just snappy enough that I feel like it was kind of like that nice middle ground. We moved down after that, and I'm actually going to pick Hershey's just barely over Mr. Beast. Hershey's is incredibly soft, and so is Mr. Beast. They both have that really soft texture, but for just the tiniest little details, maybe it's just the extra bumps on the edges of the Hershey's and a little thinner when it comes to like the profile of Mr. Beast. It's got it just a slight bit. They're really close though. Honestly, they could basically tie for third. When it comes to presentation, I'm probably going to put Hershey's at the top. I really like their logo in there. It's such a classic design, having it imprinted into the chocolate on every single piece. I like Mr. Beast's, and his is going to be in second place. But I accidentally found the logo is in there, where Hershey's has it on every single slot. After that is going to go Walmart's Great Value brand, because at least they tried a little bit, and then it's pretty plain for the She/Her chocolate, so they're just going to have them at the bottom. It's going to be up to you to decide what you feel for the price. I do think that the Daily Wire price of about $5 a bar, and having to buy that many bars is a bit excessive. If there's a way that they could get it into stores or certain things like that, then maybe they could do a little better, and that would bring that price down. But for right now, that's what it is, and I was hurt a little bit when I had to pay about $26 to buy those chocolates, because I had to buy 4 and then I had to ship it. So I'm probably going to put them at the bottom for that. When it comes to the most, bang for your buck, you're going to have the Walmart brand. And if you don't care too much, like if you're using this chocolate into different things, honestly, the Walmart brand might be your number 1 when it comes to making something like s'mores, or making it as a topping, or adding little pieces on there. There is the Hershey's option, which is pretty close when it comes to taste. Mr. Beast is going to be a little bit more on the expensive side when it comes to this category, but overall, really, I wouldn't say that his $2 bar is that much more expensive. And when you compare it to really, really high-end chocolates, it's certainly not the most expensive one out there. And now the part, of course, that you actually watch the video for. What do I think the best flavor is? So, this is very subjective. Obviously, this comes down to every single person's specific flavor and specific tastes. But, ultimately, we're going to go whoop. So we're going to start at last place. I'm going to put Walmart's. As I said, they're pretty close to Hershey's. You might be able to guess third place. But they're pretty close to Hershey's. And look, it's the cheapest chocolate. I'm not hating on them. They're a value brand for a reason. So if you want a nice chocolate and you want it cheap, you got Walmart. They win in some other aspects, especially when it comes to price. But when it comes to flavor, there's just a little too much chemical, a little too much sugar, a little too much fake in my preference. Then we got third place. I'm going to be putting Hershey's in third place. Again, it's a classic flavor that you do know and love. But ultimately, when you're going to choose a chocolate, if you want the best flavor, and of these 4, I don't think it's the best flavor. Ultimately, it's going to come down to who is number 1. What is the best flavored chocolate of these? We have the classic Hershey's, the value Walmart, we've got anti-woke, and we've got Mr. Beast, who really heavily promotes his chocolate online and talks about the best in all of his research. When it comes down to it all, which one should you pick? According to my opinion, of course, there is so many opinions when it comes to everything. But if I had to choose one by taste, Mr. Beast wins. Now, again, don't hate. I chose this texture. But overall, when it comes to the flavors, I was actually surprised by Mr. Beast. The Mr. Beast bars, I liked them initially when they came out. Now, this is not a mind-blowing chocolate. I don't think that you're going to take one bite of this and all of a sudden you'll never buy another chocolate again. But for a bar that you can buy at a Walmart or some other locations, and you're trying to get a bar that's in the same price range as a lot of other chocolate bars that you're going to see, this goes to Mr. Beast's. And the flavor, it is just slightly different. There's not that feeling of something artificial is in this. And that's one of the things that Mr. Beast has stood behind for a lot when it comes to his bars, is that they are very, very simple. So, Mr. Beast, congratulations, you did do a good job. This is of the four my favorite when it comes to the flavor. I'll certainly try some others, as I will from everybody else. It's like, I've got to try the one with nuts. But there is a lot of flavor options here, and Mr. Beast wins simply because of the fact that it's just not excessive. It is just a chocolate bar. It's just simple. The money goes to Mr. Beast, so if you like seeing his crazy videos, you can know that when you're eating a chocolate bar, you are going to be supporting him. That is a lot of what the Daily Wire team also stands behind when they say their chocolate. If you like what they say and you stand behind the mission, well, maybe paying those $5 is not as big of a problem to you because you know you're putting your money towards something that you believe in that aspect. I gotta try this one, though. With nuts. Would it have made a difference with the nuts in there? Oh, well, Daily Wire wasn't kidding about with nuts. Hefty. They are not afraid to put their nuts in their male-themed chocolate. Other side doesn't look like it has it as much, but this side. That's funny. I'm glad I wasn't comparing ones with the nuts in it. I don't like the nuts one that much. To me, it's enough nuts down there, but nothing up here, and as you can see in the middle, not really there either. So it's kind of just like a flaking of nuts. Good thing I compared just the chocolates, if you're Daily Wire.